Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is G's with Nene channel. Please do well to subscribe to this channel. My big question is South Africa people and government is said you do not want illegal foreigners to our country. So why would they welcome these Palestinians that are coming, and they were not even coming to South Africa? They divert their plane and they were formally arrested and they are being released and brought to South Africa to come and occupy South Africa land. This is so touching.
So today, dozens of Gazans landed in South Africa from Gaza, refugees from Gaza who are wishing for themselves, for their children, a better life. And guess what? South Africa doesn't let them in. They keep them on the plane and they are aiming to send them back to Gaza. Yeah, the same South Africa that prosecuted Israel for war crimes and genocide. The same South African government, corrupted government that allows corruption, criminality, violence, human rights violations in their own country. Prosecute Israel. It's all the same story. Israel, a one and only democracy, which is being criticized by the most evil regimes in the world these days.
This is the moment that they were inside the plane, they were stuck inside the plane, and South Africa government said, no, go back to your country. And they were arrested and they were details. Look at them inside the plane. They did not allow them to loud. But the same South Africa government later say they should release them. They should release them and let them come into South Africa. Now, what are we saying? If South African government said no, they should stand on that no. Not like you allow some people to come in and you do not allow some people to come in. South Africa needs to wake up. If today is your first time of seeing this channel, G's with Nene, please do well to subscribe to this channel for more update on what is happening in our Africa and South Africa especially. Do well to subscribe. Listen to what everyone have to say concerning this very scenario that is happening right now in South Africa. Can you see them? They are being given time to speak. Some of them are inside the plane, but they have
indeed.
Right
we're
now,
confirming that indeed this is the group of Palestinians.
Yes. So we are fortunate at least that they've been released. As a member of parliament, my name is Imran Musa. I belong to the Al Jamaa party. I am also a member of the International Portfolio Committee, and we have assisted in terms of ensuring that there's intervention for these passengers to come through free. And as you see, we're fortunate that through the intervention of our Minister of International Relations, Lamola, as well as DIRCO's Director General, Zain Dango, they've assisted, and all has made this possible for us to have the passengers released today.
Perhaps if maybe there's just one of them that we could speak, you take them, take us to one of them.
Sure, but they don't speak English. A lot of them don't speak.
All right, perhaps if we could just get a quick translation and speak to some of the Palestinians that were on. Perhaps let's perhaps speak to this lady who was one of the passengers, ma'am.
What do you need to ask?
We just need to ask her. I mean, how is she feeling? How is she feeling now that she's been released?
She says all praises due to God. 2 days they are on a journey, and it's been and sitting on the chair for 2 days. There was no water, there was nothing to drink, and they're extremely hungry. No, there was no the cell phone was not unable to be charged over this. So it was we've been oppressed. So we are grateful. We are grateful for the people of South Africa for what they have done for us. Thank you so much.
Perhaps we can get someone else as well, sir. If you could please just assist us with some of the translations as well. All right, if you could come this way with us, sir, just for some of the translations, because some of them, all right, are not able. That is the group. Yeah, that is the group right there. I'll ask my colleague. Take a look there, women and children. as well as some of the men as well. We tried to speak to some of the Palestinians who have come off this aircraft. And at this particular stage, one of them has expressed relief. You would know that that plane landed at about 7:50 this morning, and they've been stuck on that aircraft. In fact, in breaking news, this is breaking news at this hour, the 153 Palestinians that had traveled from the Gaza area and arrived here at OR Tambo International Airport have been released into South Africa. And the Border Management Authority also releasing a statement saying that following verification and intervention, the travellers have been admitted this evening. By the time the admission, 23 of the 153 travellers had already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destinations. Therefore, only remaining is 130 passengers that were processed into the country. So officially, let me bring in this gentleman who was also on the aircraft. Sir, just ask him, I'm sure he's quite relieved that they've made it into South Africa after being on the plane for several hours.
أنتم تفرحون جئت اليوم بعد يومين في الطائرة، كيف كان الحال اليوم؟
كان يوم شاق جدا وكان
تتكلم
بقول لك كيف كان اليوم
تكلم معي.
بداية بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I'd like to start in the name of God.
نشكر الجالية الموجودة هنا في جنوب أفريقيا على ترحيبها.
We are thankful to the people of South Africa
وحسن الضيافة.
for the hospitality that they're showing to us today.
شعرنا إنه نحن ببيتنا الثاني.
And
فلسطين وجنوب أفريقيا.
this is our second home.
إيد واحدة.
From Palestine to South Africa is our second home.
يوم عصيب كان صرنا 3 أيام بدون نوم.
They haven't had any sleep for 2 days.
بدون طعام.
No food, no drink. Things have been very difficult in the last 2 days of traveling.
نتمنى الفترة الجاية تكون فترة أفضل من اللي احنا فيها طالعين منها. طالبين الأمن والسلام لأطفالنا.
نعيش بأمان وحرية.
So yes.
من تعرف من دمار ومن
جئت من نيروبي كينيا وكنت أسافر هناك.
احنا تفاصيل السفر يعني كانت صعبة بصراحة، ما بدناش نخوض فيها كثير، ممكن اليوم مرتاحين نتكلم فيها فيما بعد.
The travel was long and the travel was quite hard, but you came, like I'm saying, you came from Nairobi. جئت من نيروبي.
نيروبي صحيح.
Yeah, so they were spending كم ساعة كنت فيه.
احنا صرنا بقول لك 3 أيام 72 ساعة ما نمناش ولا دقيقة.
Okay, so they were there for a couple of hours in Nairobi and then they came to South Africa. متى جئتم من جنوب أفريقيا؟
اليوم الساعة 8 صباحا.
So in the morning, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, they landed in South Africa, and they've been, of course, in the airport terminals before entering into South Africa for about 12 hours on the plane.
And quite a relief, of course. There's also women and children. It must have been quite tough. I mean, the reasons that have been given.
أكيد السفر صعب جدا كان.
Without a doubt, it's been very difficult because the journey itself has been very hard.
خارج عن شعورنا. مشاكل كثير واجهتنا الأطفال للنساء.
Of course, with the children especially, it's extremely difficult to be traveling like this without.
صراحة.
It's extremely difficult then. But أنتم فرحين الآن مسرور الآن.
جدا.
أكيد جدا إحنا بين أحبتنا في جنوب أفريقيا.
But we are very happy.
مدى المحبة والاحترام الموجود الآن.
And for the honor and the respect that we've received here.
إن شاء الله نقدر ننقل الصورة اللي إحنا أخذناها وانطباع الأول بلدنا الثاني.
So we don't know what the future holds, whether we'll be in South Africa or whatever the situation is, but we are very grateful for the hospitality and the welcome that we received in South Africa.
All right, let's me bring you in as well, sir. There's quite a relief. I see, most of them, there's women and children, said they've fled hardship. There's nothing left where they come from, and they're grateful for the hospitality that South Africa has given.
Absolutely, and it's so unfortunate that we're living in 2025 and we've got people who are fleeing a war zone and an active genocide when they've been bombed in all directions for the last 2 years. Gaza is unlivable, intentionally made uninhabitable by the Israeli regime. And this is the result of that. People are displaced, women, children, including all of those who've been massacred by the Israelis. So this is a sad state of affairs, and the world needs to rein Israel in for this. It's about time Israel is brought to account.
All right. Do we know where they will be taken to different areas? I do understand that others have travelled to other destinations already, according to the Border Management Authority. The initial number that we had, let me just take a look here. The official statement that I see has been released is that 23 of the 153 travellers have already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destination. So only 130 passengers were processed into the country this evening.
That's correct. They'll be going to different locations in Johannesburg, help them get settled. The community has done fantastic work in helping them. They'll check out their medical needs. They'll check out what the situation is, who needs what, and that assessment will take a few days. But I think after the harrowing experience of having to travel out of an active war zone by the occupier and going to Nairobi in Kenya and then having to come to South Africa, it's beyond human comparison, the difficulty that these people have had to go through.
Thank you very much indeed. We do appreciate your time. I'm going to ask my colleague Sicelo Mkhize to just stay on those visuals. You can see these are the passengers, according to the Border Management Authority. 23 of the 153 travellers had already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destinations. Therefore, only the remaining 130 passengers were processed. These are the ones that were processed into the country under the care of the gift of the givers. And given the Palestinians are eligible for a 90-day visa-exempt travel to South Africa, they've been processed as per normal and will be required to adhere to all conditions of entry. The BMA says it will continue to strictly uphold the legal and regulatory frameworks of the Republic of South Africa. So breaking news, 130 of the 153 travellers have entered South Africa. In fact, 23 earlier. Altogether, there had been 153. 23 have already transferred from South Africa to ultimate destinations. 130 passengers were processed into the country under the care of the gift of the givers. And that is the current situation at this particular time. And we do know that they will be traveling to various destinations and will be housed in different areas as well. And I'm just going to see if I can't get the gentleman who had been translating for us to perhaps just get details, a bit more details of some of the communication here. Most of them are not English speaking, as you would understand, but the sense that we generally are getting from them at this stage is that they are relieved to be here. They are relieved that South Africa has allowed them into the country, and it's a sense of relief coming from an area where they say they have nothing left. Nothing has been left for them in their country. And what we're hearing from the Border Management Authority, of course, is that in that statement they say that given that the Palestinians are eligible for a 90-day visa exempt travel to South Africa, they've been processed as per normal and will be required to adhere to all of the conditions of entry. Of course, the gift of the givers at the forefront as well of ensuring that this did happen. There was food and supplies that had been taken to these Palestinians who had been stuck on that aircraft since very early this morning. And I'm going to try and see if once again there was a gentleman who at this particular stage had been translating for us. Sir, if you're able to translate for us at this stage what is being said in terms of what happens next.
So what they're doing, they've got a list of all the people. They're asking for the Palestinians to send on one side. They're going to try to arrange accommodation for them now and see if they can then safely get them to a place for tonight's accommodation. And the rest of the South Africans just asking them to separate themselves while they can identify who the refugees, who the Palestinians are, and how to deal with them for this evening. with them.
We need to separate those who got accommodation against those who haven't.
So yeah, so that's the process is going to start now. There's a list of people here on the.
Could you do us a favor and just move over that way? We want to gather all of them here, right?
All right, good evening, sir. Perhaps just 1 second. I see. All right. Thank you very much. We'll move towards this particular direction and see maybe if we're not able to get more translations speaking to some of these Palestinians who've come off the aircraft, and maybe we could speak to some others as well. All right, they're shy at this particular stage. Let me see if there's anyone else.
I'll get a gentleman for you, maybe. Give me a minute, right?
All right. All right, so the particulars of the Palestinians are being asked for at this stage. What is happening now is that their names are being taken down and accommodation is being sought for them for this evening. And they're here on a 90-day eligibility visa exempt having so I guess what will then take place once that is
I'm having difficulty finding someone.
They haven't got accommodation, just arrange the hall for us.
All right, so at this stage accommodation
We're trying to show
it seems as if there's still accommodation that is being sought for the Palestinians who of course have come off that aircraft who'd been on the tarmac.
How did they find themselves here in South Africa, and what's the latest? And I'm sure you can give us that information.
Essentially, there's an organization called Al-Majd, which is linked to the Israelis, which has been charging people and promising to get them out of Gaza. So what happened, for example, with this flight and the previous one, people were called on a particular night and told tomorrow morning the buses will be ready for you. Next morning they went to the bus, they were told you can only take a rucksack, nothing else. Where they were then taken across into Israel. On the Israeli side, they were told that they can't have rucksacks either. All they're allowed is a cell phone, passport and some money, some cash. Then they were taken to the Ramon military Air Force base in Israel. They were put onto a chartered flight, no exit stamp. They were put onto a chartered flight, ended up in Nairobi, then put onto another chartered flight and then ended up in Johannesburg. In both cases, people were actually not told where they're going to end up. Some of them believed that they were going to Indonesia, some to Malaysia, etc. On this flight, I know two people who were given booking documents for accommodation. And the one was a hotel in Mumbai in India. The other one was a hotel in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And so they had no clue where they're going until they landed here and they told they were in Johannesburg. The last flight people came in, they were stamped and came in. The problem, of course, is that all of them, in the last flight and this one, they have no exit stamp. And technically, no country will accept you if you don't have an exit stamp from somewhere else. So they had no exit stamp, they arrived here, and border management this time decided to take a hard line. Unfortunately, many of the people said that they're visiting South Africa. And so if you're a tourist, you need an exit stamp, you need a return ticket, you need accommodation booked in your name. They didn't have any of those. And so border management said that they're not going to allow them in. At some point later, they then said that they want to apply for asylum. By that time, border management said that this is very difficult. You already said one thing, now you're saying another. And the Minister of Home Affairs refused to sign off on allowing them in. So right until about half an hour ago, the situation was that they were going to, the flight they were on would have to go back to Nairobi with them on it. And if they got to Nairobi, it would be a humanitarian crisis. The Kenyans would not let them in. It would really be a crisis, and it would be an embarrassment for South Africa. So just about an hour ago, the president decided that they would be allowed in. So they will all be coming through. They're being processed now in about 2 hours. The Minister of Home Affairs has to sign it. and in about 2 hours they'll all be coming out. And then we will look at them, those who want to get asylum in South Africa, etc. And the group of organizations that's working together on this is arranging transport for them to get to the hotels that have been booked for them for 7 days, and then arranging other accommodation. So these organizations have come together. The previous lot of people, there's accommodation for all of them, food, medical services available for them all, needs assessments done, etc. And all of that will be done for this group as well.
Do we know under what conditions are they being let into the country? Is it, as you said, is it asylum? Is it a leeway, special kind of?
So we've been made to understand that they will all be allowed in. Now let me just say that some of them are leaving. So a group of about 14 left this morning as well. Some going to Egypt, some wherever. But the rest who are coming in, they will come in and they will then be able to decide whether they want asylum or not. That's what we've been made to understand.
Let's talk about the conditions, in the plane. You've been there almost the whole day. Just take us through, that moment. What did you witness? What were the conditions like? Were they really welcomed into South Africa with warm hands, as we're made to believe?
So we got onto the plane after midday. In the morning, this was a plane that was full of people, and it was getting very hot. They were complaining. We were in touch with some of the people on the plane. And then at some point the police instructed that the doors should be taken out, etc., and that they should be given water, air supply, and all of that. When we got on, it was mid-afternoon, not mid-afternoon, early afternoon.
This scenario have raised a lot of argument among the South Africans. South Africans right now are not happy with this development of the government official.